The relationship between science and religion has been a long-standing and often contentious one. Many scientists have been perceived as attempting to convince Christians that God is not real, but is this truly their intention? To understand the motivations behind this perceived effort, it's essential to delve into the history and principles of science, as well as the differences in worldview between scientists and Christians. Science, by its very nature, is a method of inquiry that seeks to explain the natural world through observation, experimentation, and evidence-based reasoning. The scientific method involves formulating hypotheses, testing them through empirical research, and refining or rejecting them based on the results. This approach has led to a vast array of discoveries and advancements in fields such as physics, biology, and medicine. However, the scientific method is not inherently opposed to the concept of God or spirituality, but rather seeks to understand the workings of the universe through natural laws and mechanisms. The perceived conflict between science and Christianity arises from the fact that many scientific findings seem to contradict biblical teachings or traditional Christian doctrine. For example, the theory of evolution, which is widely accepted by the scientific community, suggests that life on Earth emerged through a gradual process of variation, mutation, and natural selection, rather than through a literal six-day creation as described in the Book of Genesis. Similarly, the Big Bang Theory, which is the leading explanation for the origin of the universe, implies that the universe began as a singularity around 13.8 billion years ago, rather than being created by God in a single act. Some scientists, such as Richard Dawkins and Sam Harris, have been vocal in their criticism of Christianity and other religions, arguing that they are based on superstition, dogma, and a lack of empirical evidence. These individuals have written extensively on the topic of atheism and the perceived dangers of religious fundamentalism. However, it's essential to note that these views are not representative of the entire scientific community, and many scientists are themselves Christians or hold other religious beliefs. So, why do some scientists appear to be trying to convince Christians that God is not real? One possible reason is that they believe that the literal interpretation of Christian doctrine is incompatible with the scientific evidence and methodology. They may argue that the concept of a supernatural, omnipotent deity who intervenes in the natural world is not testable or falsifiable, and therefore cannot be considered a scientific hypothesis. Additionally, some scientists may be motivated by a desire to promote critical thinking, skepticism, and intellectual honesty, which they believe are essential for scientific progress and human well-being. Another possible reason is that some scientists are concerned about the potential negative consequences of religious dogma, such as the suppression of scientific inquiry, the persecution of minority groups, and the promotion of irrational or harmful beliefs. They may argue that a more nuanced and evidence-based understanding of the world is essential for addressing global challenges such as climate change, poverty, and inequality. However, it's also possible that some scientists are motivated by a more personal or philosophical agenda, such as a desire to challenge traditional authority or promote a secular worldview. This may lead them to oversimplify or caricature Christian beliefs, or to present science and religion as mutually exclusive options. In conclusion, the relationship between science and Christianity is complex and multifaceted, and the perceived effort by scientists to convince Christians that God is not real is likely driven by a range of factors. While some scientists may be motivated by a genuine desire to promote critical thinking and intellectual honesty, others may be driven by a more personal or philosophical agenda. Ultimately, the scientific method and Christian doctrine are not inherently incompatible, and many scientists and Christians are working to find common ground and promote a more nuanced understanding of the world. By engaging in respectful and open-minded dialogue, we can work to build bridges between these two seemingly disparate worldviews and promote a deeper understanding of the human experience.